The Ahri skin controversy is still ongoing. That is impressive dedication.
We all knew that the moment Riot revealed something bad regarding skins, the community would go wild.
What's bad? The fact that it costs $500? Please. If you're a poor boy, just say so.
But what we didn't know is that League's community would be able to accomplish something incredible. They would unite under a single goal. And that is something we're going to talk about today. So, we all know that Riot is on a bit of a streak when it comes to figuring out just how far can they get with their monetization. We've had the expensive legendary and ultimate skins for a while. Sometimes we get ultimate skins with the features of just a legendary skin. But those were something we laughed at, and that's kinda it.
Okay.
Then Riot pushed for the new era of prestige skins for Mythic Essence, which usually...
Hey, what can I say? A legendary skin gets old at time. You need something new. You know, a legendary skin is no longer that legendary when a lot of people have it. So, you need something else. Mythical, S-grade, Super Ultra Giga, Black Hole Deluxe Edition. Now then it gets prestigious again.
went for roughly about $100. Those started to grind some nerves. Then Riot tried to introduce some gacha mechanics, which essentially meant we got new skins for $200. And those...
Oh man, this one with Jin already did not go well.
were quite successful. Which is why Riot pushed for more of those. That's the point people often overlook. Those $200 skins sold well enough that Riot tried it again. And there is a massive
But wasn't there still a controversy around that because it was stupid?
reason why those skins sold well. And that is a crucial point for this video. That's right, I know you thought I was just rambling to turn one graph into a 10-minute video. Now of course that is still gonna happen, but that's not really the case this time.
Okay, listen. I'll tell you the brute reality of the reality that's currently happening in League of Legends. Okay? And it's very simple. Riot can do whatever the hell they please like, because Arcane's dropping November. And when Arcane drops, everything will be forgotten. Everything will be forgiven. And a clean slate is going to happen. Unless Arcane, the Season 2 is going to be bad. Which there is roughly 0% chance that it's not going to be absolutely amazing. And we all know this. And Riot also knows this. This can only last until Riot releases something that people like. And then everything is forgiven. That is the way of our world.
So remember, despite the seemingly big outrage there was around the new gacha in League, the reality is it was both a success on the financial side and even the company's image stayed fine in the end, so nothing really changed. And that's what leads us into the current $500 skin drama. Of course, we talked about this in the previous video, so I don't think we have to explain what the $500 skin is about again. What's important is that a lot of people didn't like it and a lot of people felt...
Honestly, I don't even think the skin looks that great. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it even looks that good, honestly. That's my biggest concern about this. That's my biggest bad thing about this. I don't think it honestly even looks that special. It doesn't look that good in my honest opinion. So that's the part that I am most upset about. That it's $500 for something that's not even that great.
like they were betrayed by Riot.
But admittedly, that's personal opinion. You know, does a skin look good is for each and every one of you to decide.
Especially the people who bought all of Ahri's skins, because that's the people who bonded with Ahri's character. Because who wouldn't bond over the lore?
Oh boy, there's a lot of people who also bonded with Zoe's character, but it's fine, she's like a billion years old or something.
Or of sucking the living souls out of your lovers in the middle of the love act because you have a massive hunger for human essence. The lore is actually really cool, I swear. Anyway, if there is one place on the internet where they felt like they just really had to act,
Reddit. Oh god.
of course, it was the Ahri mains. And so...
Yeah, that's Reddit.
their community assembled. From the first moment the skin was revealed and the pricing was announced,
Listen, the only reason those fuckers are mad is because they don't have $500 to spend on the skin. If it was affordable, they would be jizzing themselves right there to the bank.
Our mains started thinking about their next move. And so, 18 days ago, the best way to rebel is to boycott Ari herself. I think it's atrocious that Riot is pricing a skin bundle that costs half of my paycheck for an entire month. I say let's protest
Depending on what country he's from, this is sad.
in a way that forces Riot to the negotiating table. All we need to do is ban Ari every single game. The whales will never get to enjoy the skin if they cannot play the champion. And then Riot will be forced to lower prices. Similar strategies worked for Rise. Let's work to get Ari ban rate to 100%. See, this was a ridiculous idea on paper.
Now, why is it ridiculous if they did it with Rise and they said it worked? Considering we can track Ari's bond rate, I mean, legit.
It would need some
Also, the fact is, you don't need Ari banned in, like, for example, Challenger or anything. No one plays Ari in Challenger. Like, are you stupid? Do you want to lose games? No, it's mainly in, the lower ranks. So, it could work easily.
ridiculous commitment for it to work. It was crazy. Just crazy enough for it to work. And the community agreed. That's actually genius. Share to hashtag #PermabanAri in all related content platforms. Good idea. But can't wait for the mods to notice this post and delete it to protect Daddy Riot profits. I think the problem is that people don't care. They would be, it's just a skin, I don't even play Ari, I don't care, and so on. But it is.
Well, this is what ruins society, thinking like this. Oh, the person next to me is a murderer. That doesn't affect me. Yeah, it doesn't yet. It never does affect you yet, but when it affects people, suddenly magically turns different.
Is worth a shot. Easy way to counter Riot's prices. And so, the community bonded over the idea of a boycott. And what fueled the idea even more was Riot's ability to make fun of themselves. Even though this time they did not do it in the most ethical of ways.
Wait till the Demon King hears about these prices.
By the way, it seems like Riot removed these voice lines from the game now. And what's awesome is that it
That's
wasn't
pretty
just
good,
the
though.
Ari mains who suffered. All the mains felt the pain, and so, like a cavalry, one by one, they all arrived to lend their helping hand. Even the Seraphine mains. Dear Ari players, us Seraphine players are fighting with you. It was already mentioned, probably from Sera mains, but we've got your
God, I hate Reddit.
back in it. What's even better, that even some of the whales were not happy about this. As a whale, you, Riot. And so a whole new movement has started. Hashtag #PermabanAri. A movement with a single goal. Every time someone would play
Kidneys. I mean, you could buy a bunch of Ari skins for a kidney.
a game of League of Legends, there would be the gentleman's agreement that one of them would always ban Ari. That way, those who had the audacity to buy that atrocity would never have a chance to play that skin. Unless they played quick play where there are no bans, but we don't talk about that. It was a movement with valiant effort. A movement.
Is quick play even that popular, honestly? The reality with all these MOBA games, League of Legends, Dota, and whatnot, the secondary modes never survive, honestly, that long. Well, they survive for a decent, but then there's always a community around them. But in general, people play the game for the original mod. So the fact that some kind of quick play exists, I don't even know what that is, by the way. It's not gonna work, because most people are playing just, normal or ranked, where bans work like bans.
And that was met with equal courage. A movement that got about 500 interactions last week.
Wow.
So hashtag #PermabanAri was worthless. Which is when hashtag #BanAri arrived on stage with 10,000 interactions. It was a
Well, that's easier than permaban, though.
Simpler, catchier hashtag that actually started pulling off some numbers. And now we've had numerous amazing posts that started circling in the viral territories. Not only the players, but also the creators and the esports personalities
Ooh.
started talking about it now. And suddenly, the entire
Wait. I'm very interested what Tyler has to say about that.
movement started getting some traction, which was even further boosted on the 12th of June, the day the skin was released. And
Ooh.
from that point on, only one thing mattered: the results. And not
Let's
just the
see.
first day, but the following few days mattered too. But before those numbers arrived, there is something else that people started noticing.
Though, let's be honest, when things like this happen, people are hyped to buy this if they're gonna buy this. It doesn't matter if it's a $500 skin, a $2 skin, but people are just in general hyped. If the banning actually takes place and it works for, you know, the initial release date, that is the biggest amount of damage you can actually do against Riot. Because people will want to buy this skin, but they can't play it, so people will not buy it on the first days, and then they will forget about it. That's how these things happen.
You see, on the 12th of June, besides just the Ari skin, Riot also officially released the Hall of Legends Battle Pass. The first ever pass that wasn't tied to a skin line or a skin-based event, but rather it was purely based
Now that's a hot LeBlanc.
on esports, and specifically it was based on Faker. And from the very first moments, it was obvious that this pass would be a really good deal compared to what we are normally getting. Within the context of all the other passes,
Wait, you just get a free LeBlanc character? Wow.
looks really good. And on the day this released, most people agreed that remains to be true. So now, among all the chaos, you had this one bright light. This pass is actually really well put together.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not seeing anything that appeals to me.
It has a whole presentation with immersive elements and animations, and every 5 levels or so you get a bonus video that shows you an iconic moment from Faker's history. It
Listen, if you're gonna call that good value, you might as well just send your paycheck straight to Riot, honestly. If the fact that you click on the essence and it shows you a picture of the essence is high quality, there's something really wrong with the way you perceive reality.
really feels like you are in a museum dedicated to Faker, which also weirdly makes you feel like you are part of a Faker
Listen, I can just Google Faker and masturbate to him like that if I feel like it. It's not a big deal, it's not even hard.
worshipping cult. Anyway, the point is, the pass is actually really good. And the funny thing about that is that Riot is using embedded YouTube videos in the client to show you those historic moments. So if you find the link to those unlisted videos, you can just watch the final thank you from Faker for finishing the pass. Yeah, I feel special now. So as you can see, not
Nice.
everything was horrible this event.
So they embedded videos to just boost themselves in the YouTube algorithm? That's smart, actually.
And so there was the risk that since this was good, it could put a dent in the boycott. But
Yeah.
now, it's been 3 days, which is still not that long. I would
Let's
say to
see.
get some good numbers, we would need at least 1 full week to see if the boycotts do anything. But already, with only 3 days behind us, we
Well, the first week is the most important in general for sales. The first day, biggest, second 2 days, huge. But the first week is in general, yeah, kind of what you want to watch. I don't know if he knows that and he said it, or does he just think a week is a fine number?
got some really interesting data, which actually might be revealing what's happening in the background the entire time. And so, has Riot felt the difference? Was there enough active players that would alter the course of League of Legends? Or at least to send Riot a message? Was there enough players
Well, if the ban rate was 23% before the thing got popular with the hashtag and before the skin got announced, a 50% ban rate could be legit.
to ban Ari every game? Well, for context, before the skin dropped, The ban rate for Ari was about 8%. Now keep in mind that this game already has about 160 champions, and every game you get about 10 bans. So even 10% is quite high if you average everyone out. So, how much did the community affect this?
Well, we know it's gonna be... That's not even a straight cut line, Necrid. What the hell? Anyway, we know he already showed that it before the release of the skin got to 23%. Yeah, this is the 23%.
Well, that can certainly be considered a dent. Now, as cool as this graph looks,
Oh, that was on the release. Yeah, that's the peak, I guess, in that case.
it needs some context. First of all, the data shown here is how different ranks banned Ari. That's why the blue line actually tilts down at the end. That's all the players in Diamond and above. So it's all the people who had their fun with banning, but then they got back to just grinding ranked. Also, they technically represent about 1% of the player base. So
Yeah.
the more accurate way to show the data would be this. This is a single line that shows us the average ban rate across all the ranks, which should be in line with how many games were played. And here you can see that it jumped from about 8.4% all the way to 21% ban rate, which means it more than doubled. With the highest ban rates being in Platinum and Emerald, where it peaked at 24%. That is a ban for Ari every 4th game. Now, to be honest, for a League of Legends community...
Wait, it actually completely makes sense that she's banned in those ranks. Because in those ranks, you can still just be really good at Ari and, you know, make it further as an average player because you're just really good with the champion. And if there's a lot of people who are doing it, people will just ban her naturally, completely ignoring the boycott. So that does make actual sense that she's banned there a lot.
That is impressive. Even more so because, remember, there is a lot of games of League of Legends played every day. And most people don't watch the drama on the internet. So to see a dent in the numbers this big from the general player base is very unusual. Now, the reason why this feat was so easily pulled off, however, is because technically you only need 1 out of the 10 people in every game to do this. That's right, for these boycotts, only 1 person needs to ban Ari. So there was already an advantage.
But you can't get a situation where 2 people ban Ari.
However, as cool as the graph looks, there is something important to be mentioned here. This is the global data. Of course, different regions would participate in different ways. For example, EU West is holding the line. Here in Europe, the
I mean, we are literally the best part of the world, that's why everyone wants to be here.
ban rate is about 35%, which is insane. Of course, NA also likes to complain about everything, so they too are at 32%. So
And I just think Zari is a really good champion, that's kinda losers.
overall, the West is standing together in this boycott. But of course, when you look at the skin, while it is being sold everywhere, it's not really aiming at the global audience. It's not really the West specifically this skin is targeting, is it? I mean, we're talking about Faker with an esports event that is rooted around Korea, with League of Legends esports being by far the biggest in Korea, with some of Riot's largest income also coming from the East. As in, it might not even be comparable. I mean, why do you think we keep getting the Lunar Revel skins and Spirit Blossom and we have all the other Eastern themed skins that just keep coming
Because people like Eastern team weeb shit. Pretty obvious.
back? They are doing well. That's why they keep coming back. And that's because the East
If it was that hard like that, there would be specific events for specific regions.
likes to pay for their games a lot more than the West.
True,
That is
though.
simply a fact about the gaming industry. And so the question now is, how did all of this look on the other side of the world? What do they think about this skin? Well, Vietnam, Thailand, and even Japan are all united. They are all soaring around the 20 to 30% ban rate, which is great, but those can hardly be called the bigger audiences. At least, not compared to Korea, where hardly anything happened.
Wait, what are you? Oh, wait, no, I'm confused. Why is it super high here and what? Slightly confused.
See, Ari was roughly at a 5% ban rate before the skin launched. And then when it
Why is she a 15% ban rate here, I wonder?
did, she jumped to impressive 9%. Which means that some people joined the boycott, but for the most part, it seems like their player base doesn't really care. I mean, Ari had higher ban rate weeks before we even learned about the existence of this skin. So it seems like bad balancing matters a lot more than bad pricing over there. Which also means,
Makes sense.
yeah, this skin might do well. Because the
Well, we need to actually see the numbers. This is like speculation. How many people in North Korea play League of Legends? Interesting. Probably a lot, but still. Kind of want to see those numbers.
audience this skin is directly targeting is fine with it. Or at least that seems to be the case according to these numbers. I don't actually see into the Korean social media, so if anyone does, let me know what it looks like over there. Anyway,
Sounds like a bunch of not caring and everything's just business as usual, honestly.
there you have it. That's really why the situation is so bittersweet. In the West, the community clearly managed to send a message. People with Riot
What is
revealing
this?
that League of Legends is getting a Vampire Survivor based game mode.
Oh, that sounds good. Me likey, Vampire Survivors. Oh, well, anyway, I guess that was naked. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.